Hi everyone, I am back with the 2017 Mickey and Minnie card series. This is the first part of the video that will be at the beginning of every video for the series for you. And this is the cutting of the cardstock to create the corner fold for the card. So what you need is your card base, which is going to be 5.5 by 8.5. I will just zoom out a little so you guys can see. So you need a 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece for your card base. I'm using black again. Then you're going to score that at 4.25, and then you're going to need a trimmer. Now I've got the Stampin' Up trimmer, which is perfect for this. I know Fiskars has one that's similar, that's got the little V-blade that you can get, and the reason that we're using one like this is because we are cutting in the middle of the card, so a rotary cutter is just not going to work. You're not going to get the precise cut that you need. So if you've got this type of trimmer already, perfect. If not, Stampin' Up does carry these, and there's always a link in the description below. So yeah, now what I did with mine is, I'm going to zoom back in. I have marked mine, as you can see, with some white cardstock. So the measurements that you're actually going to be using are going to be the 5/8 mark, the 2.5, the 3, and the 4 7/8. The reason I marked mine is if I move this cardstock out of the way, there's a dark brown print underneath this, and I can't really read that when I have darker cardstock underneath there. So I just took a thin piece of washi tape and just wrote on it with a really fine Sharpie, and there you have it. So let's get to the cutting. Now here's our score mark at the 4.25. So what we're going to do is take this edge of our card, and I am working around my tripod, so excuse all the arms and hands in the way. So we're going to line this up at the 3-inch mark. We're going to take our blade, move it to the 2.5, and we're going to cut, down to the 4 7/8. So you should have a little cut there. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to line it up at the 3 again. Then we're going to move our blade to the 3-inch. And we're going to cut upward to the 5/8. And you should have a little slit like this. So that's how you do the cutting. Okay, now that you have your base scored and cut, we're going to go ahead and start folding this up and decorating it.
Hello.
So, that was my phone, sorry. All you do is fold on the score line like you would a normal card, and then you just take your little cut mark here and fold it back on itself. And then just crease that down. And there you have the folded part. So now we're going to go ahead and start decorating, and I'm going to start with the larger panel that goes underneath here, and this piece is cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then all I did was measure over 5/8 of an inch and just put a little pencil mark, and then I measured up from the bottom 1 7/8, and then took those two and cut them diagonally in my cutter. So I already did that just to save some time. And when you glue this down, you don't want to glue this diagonal piece here because it will get stuck and glue your card shut. So we're just going to go along the edges here. And then just a little bit here on the top. So we're just going to go ahead and stick this in here. Takes me a minute to get this lined up. There we go. So there we have that, and then we're going to go ahead and decorate the front, which we're going to use a white card mat, and this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And our striped piece here is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and just layer these together really quickly. Just like that, and then we'll go ahead and attach this to the front. Okay, so this we're just going to attach right here, so you'll have a little bit of a black border. My dog is scratching at the door. I'm going to have to let her out. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. Crazy animals. Alright, so this is the outside. Now we're going to go ahead and just put these pieces on the inside. So my white mat right here is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So we're just going to go ahead and attach that down. Then we will move on to our second little square piece. So right here, and I totally didn't even mention that we were doing a St. Patrick's Day card, but I'm pretty sure you guys could tell. And these are the same measurements as the squares on the front. So this is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and then 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we'll just layer these and get those. And it just kind of finishes off the inside. So for those of you who are just watching this for the first time, I usually put this right in here just to finish off the inside so it doesn't have this white little triangle space here. And then for those of you who have been following, totally know what I mean. And I will I will add, in the Valentine video, in case you didn't notice, I failed to do the inside of the card on camera. After I was done filming and editing, I went back and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even do the inside of the card. But the picture shows the inside of the card. It's crazy. Oh, and I forgot my stamp. 1 second. Darn it. Okay, my little wooden stamp here. Okay, so this is basically our card. So what we're going to do now is I like to take a little bit of, you don't really need to, and since I already attached that other piece down, kind of holds that in place, but I like to go ahead and just put a little piece of tape under here so it's not flopping up. But like I said, with this piece on here, it kind of keeps it together and sturdy. Alright, so now we have a couple of options for our sentiment part. Now, what I mean by that is if you're going to use the teeny tiny wishes, which I have done every St. Patrick's Day for the Mickey and Minnie series, it's this one right here. As you can see, it's not just, you know, straight across. It's a double line. So, in order to do that one, it's a little more than just, I can't use the word window punch. So, to get the whole thing on there, so if we're going to stamp this one, then what I normally did was I took the modern label punch and I punched that out. Then I punched a modern label in the black. So since these are not going to layer, they're the same size, all I did was cut this in half, like that, and just layered it, kind of an offset layering. So if you put your rhinestones on, which I'm not going to do because I'm not actually going to use this one, I'm just going to show you guys how I actually do this one when I do use it. But I am choosing to use a different stamp for this one, and I will show you that stamp in a minute. So you just layer this on like this. And then that's how your layering would be for this particular stamp. But today I'm actually going to use a stamp from the Sweet Stamp Shop, and she has got a ton of cute stamps up there. I buy most of the planner stamps is what I get from her. And this is the set called Kissing Through Summer. She also has another set that gives you the rest of the holidays called Fall into Christmas, and that one looks like this. I will link her shop in the description below for you guys, but I'm going to use the one that just says St. Patrick's Day, and it fits perfectly in the word window punch. So, that's another option, just to show you guys that you do not have to have the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set in order to follow along for this series. And another one I pulled out that you can absolutely use if you have Lawn Fawn. This is the Plan On It Holidays, and this one also has a St. Patrick's Day that fits in the word window punch. So just a couple of different options for you guys, or if you've got a smaller stamp that you already have that you use, that is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up. I'm using Garden Green from Stampin' Up. And I'm just going to stamp it over here on this side. So I don't mind that it doesn't say Happy St. Patrick's Day. That's not a big issue to me. So if you're pretty picky about that part, then you should probably just use the Teeny Tiny Wishes one. Or something that you have that says Happy St. Patrick's Day, but to me it's not a big deal. Alright, so there's that. And now we're going to punch out another black modern label. And like I said before, you don't have to have these punches. Like if you've got something else that you have that you can use, go for it. These are just what I have. So I'm going to take our basic rhinestones here and get those attached to my ends. Then we will just go ahead and get this layered on here. Alright, there we go. So there's my St. Patrick's Day. So now I'm going to take my Stamps by Judith. This is a stick, and I'm using the little clover here. And just going to do my stamping around the edges here. So again, I'm using the Garden Green. And I'm going to start on this corner, and I kind of alternate the position of the stamp so they're not all going the same way. So there we go. there we have our little clovers. Clean those off in a second. So we'll go ahead and cover this up because we're done with all that. And we'll get some dimensionals out. Just need a couple of them on here. Alright, so we're going to grab our Mickey heads. And we're going to just kind of line these guys up here. Like so. I need to grab a tissue. My nose is running. I've been sick for a while. And, well, it's been like 2 weeks. And I'm at the end of it, but my nose just like runs and runs now. So sorry, give me 1 second. I feel like if I don't catch it, it's going to run down my face. It's so gross. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue the little heads down here. And then we will get Minnie's bow to complete her. Alright, so we'll give these a minute. So while those are drying for a second, we'll go ahead and attach our sentiment right down here. And we'll go ahead and attach our bow, and it's the same ribbon I use all the time. It's just the eyelet ribbon from Michaels, and it's only 50 cents a roll, so if you guys want to go check it out, there's a ton of colors. I just really, really like this ribbon. So there's our little green bow, and we're done! There it is! There is the St. Patrick's Day Mickey and Minnie card for 2017. I hope you guys like this. I hope you're following along, and if you are, I hope you're enjoying it. If not, then you wouldn't be following. So, yeah, I will be back with the April card next time. So, again, if you guys have any questions or requests or anything like that, go ahead and leave that all down in the comments, or my email is also down in the description. My Stampin' Up! Website is also down in the description, so you can go check anything out over there if you want to. And like I said, I will go ahead and link the Sweet Stamp Shop in the description also, so you guys can check out her cute little stamps. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!